PJ Golf Professional. Going to go over some golf tips with you. And the first one we're going to actually work on is your golf gripper hold. I know it's not the most exciting thing to study on, but it is so important because that's the only part that actually holds onto the golf club and controls this club face, which then controls the curvature of the golf ball. So if you're having issues with big slices or big hooks, generally we're going to be able to trace it right back to your gripper or your hold. So again, as I work with people, this is one of the things that I kind of work the hardest on, is to make sure you hold it correctly. And even if you do hold it incorrectly, as long as you grip it consistently and do the exact same thing every single time, you'll get some sort of consistent ball flight. However, most of you don't do that, so that's why we're going to work on your golf grip. Best time to work on it is your golf grip is in the wintertime, because you're not worried too much about results. You're not seeing that ball slicing off into the woods or duck hooking into the water, so wintertime is the best time to work on it, and that's why we're going to work on your grip this winter. Give you a couple minutes here. We need you to go grab a couple things. First of all, I need you to grab a golf club. I'm trying to lose some weight, so I'm going to grab my glass of water, which we'll use a little bit later. And then you're also going to need probably a notebook and a pen. And then lastly, I need you to go grab a hammer. This hammer is going to hopefully help you understand how to hold or grip the club a little bit easier. So I'll give you some time to go grab those things, and we'll be right back with you. Alrighty, folks, glad to see you came back. Hopefully you got all your tools now. Let's start out with the hammer. And what I want you to do is grab or hold that hammer exactly like you would if you're hanging a picture frame up. A couple things you're going to notice right away is that hammer is down in your fingers. It's not going across the palm of your hand. It is down in your fingers. Get a lot of hingeability. Let's pretend that I hammer left-handed. And so we're going to present this left hand up here, and you notice I've drawn some lines across my golf club here. So as I just grab that hammer, don't think about placing my hand on it. I just grab the hammer. You'll notice that it is covering up those lines right across the base of my palm. As I do that, you'll notice how far this hammer now travels. Look how much hinge I've got just by having it down in my fingers. Look how far that club head, or in this case hammer, is traveling. A lot of power there, isn't there, folks? Now let's put that same thing into our palm or across our lifeline like a lot of you have in your left hand. Now let's try to see how far that hinges. Does not hinge very far, and again, translate into not a lot of power. So this is where a lot of you tend to grip it, also why the ball curves left to right for you right-handed golfers. So let's get it down in those fingers, and then again, look how much farther and how much more power I now have. So let's transfer that over to the golf club. So go grab your golf club. What I want you to do is grab it, make sure the snake is pointing back towards you, hold it in your right hand, and then just grip it or hold it with your left hand. Don't think about placing your hand on it, just grab or hold it. And again, you'll notice a couple things right away. Just like this hammer we had earlier, it is now down in my fingers. And as I take my hand across, you'll notice those two lines that I drew across the base of my palm, now in my fingers. Too many of you have it, again, up here in the palm, and now you've got this wear spot on your golf club, and again, not much power there. So let's make sure it's down in our fingers. One way to test it, you should be able to take these last three fingers off. Should be able to balance it on that forefinger and heel pad, not thumb pad, but heel pad. Take those off and you'll notice it's balancing there fairly easily. If I've got it across my palm or through my lifeline, when I take those last three fingers off, it starts to slip, gets caught on the thumb pad, not the heel pad. So again, let's get that down in our fingers as much as we can. Another way to do it is just let your arm just hang from the nice and relaxed. Let the club just fall into our fingers. Again, same thing happens. Rest down in my fingers. You probably have noticed Adam Scott, who just won the Australian Open, he's doing this a lot. Again, he's trying to get that hand in the same position every single time, but again, it's more in the fingers. Left thumb. I want this thumb not to be long. If this thumb gets too long or too extended, we end up with a lot of tension in this forearm. So let this thumb just relax and fall back. I want this thumb just right of center. I don't want it in the ditch. I don't want it on the wrong side of the highway. I just want it right of center. A lot of you have talked to your golf professionals, been taught keep that V between the nose and right shoulder, or seeing 2 or 3 knuckles. If you have yourself in this hammer-like grip, I guarantee it's down in your fingers. You can see 2 or 3 knuckles, and that's pointing between your nose and right shoulder. Our right hand, you'll notice I've drawn lifeline. I've also drawn 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What I want you to do now is just present your right arm nice and relaxed and swinging. We don't bring it in this fashion or underneath. Just let your arm swing in naturally. You'll notice it comes right to 1, 2, and 3. It falls right on 1 and 2. Now my lifeline, God was a golfer, forms a little channel. That's now going to cover up my left thumb. Now as you notice, I've also drawn a little arrow here to signify this V. I want these 2 V's going in the same direction. Notice now they are both working in empathy together as much as we can, so they are what helpfully returns this club head back to square every single time. Too many of you get the V's going in opposite direction, and tell me, which one of these arms is going to take over, hands is going to take over? I have no idea either. So let's make sure these 2 hands are working in empathy together. Get them squared up together. So now as I turn this and let my arms rotate, you'll notice that the club head is getting squared back up, where if they're fighting each other, who knows which way that club head will get squared up. So again, get those down in empathy. Your homework for the week is, if you need to, always have that hammer right next to you. Just tell your loved one that you're going to hang some pictures here in a little bit. And don't worry about that, because hopefully they'll get hung sometime before spring. And then all I want you to do is get your club, make sure your snake's pointing back towards you. Sitting in your chair, lazy boy watching TV, get that thing down in your fingers. Maybe do the 3-finger test if you want to. Let that right arm just slide right in, cover up the left thumb as much as you can. Let the club set down. I'm drinking water because I want to lose some weight. Do the same thing, bring that grip up above, grab it, check your thumb out, bring it up by your eyes, get your right hand. Hopefully now you're starting to feel the club head. With that, hopefully that'll help you a little bit, improve your golf grip, and we will see you on the next tips. Thank you.